it's Lynn from LynnieCDesigns. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in West Sussex in the UK, and I'm going to be using these two stamp sets to create this lovely easel card. Very simple, fun fold, but I think this is absolutely lovely. It's one of the cards that we made in my card classes this week, which was rather fun. I've got ink all over my all over my hands, and I've also used some of the New Horizons 6x6 designer series paper. Now this is absolutely beautiful. Double-sided paper. There are 4 sheets of 12 designs, so there's 48 sheets in all, and actually it is currently in our clearance rack along with some other amazing products. And this is, you get 48 sheets of this for £4.30 at the moment in the UK. So there will be a link in the description box below if you want to get your hands on this, or have a look around my online store to see what other bargains they are. But I would highly recommend this, it's beautiful. I'm going to cut down this sheet for the background, and I'm just going to get on and show you what I'm using for this. So I've got this sheet of the DSP, I've got some scraps which I'll use to create the foliage. These are some dies that go with the they're from the aspen tree dies. Comes with this wonderful big die that creates the, let me show you, I've already created this die cut. I've still got to get a few of those, poke a few of those pieces out, but that's really lovely. So that's sort of birchy trees, I don't know. And then we've got dies that cut out the robin and the branch, and then you've got 3 leaves, big leaves, small. I've used this 3 times, and I've used this for the top of the tree. I'm just going to pop that there so that I've got it for inspiration, and I'll just get on. So I've got, this is a little envelope, put that out of the way. I've already scored the card base, so this is half a sheet of A4, and it measures 10.5 centimetres, and it's 29.8 centimetres long, and I've scored it at 7.4 centimetres and 14.8 centimetres, so that is going to be the card base. That's a piece of basic white for die cutting. This is cut at 10.5 by 14.8, so I'm going to just use that. This piece was measured at 10.2 by 14.5, and I'm going to just trim that designer series paper down. And I've got this little piece which is, how many centimetres is that? It's 4.5 centimetres by 10.2 centimetres. So that's just going to be raised up on dimensionals, and that's going to be our little stopper for the hinge on our card. So I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on those. So I'll just bring in my trimmer. And I know that this, I want to use this part in my card. So I need that to be just shy of 10, so 9.8, 9.9 centimetres. And I'm going to cut off a little bit of the greenery, so that can be just shy of, let's see, 14.1 centimetres, something like that. I shall use those scraps, but I'll show you what I mean. That gets put behind there, so let's just my take a pick tool, get rid of these extra little bits. I'm hoping this video is clear. Haven't done a video for a while. Life just seems to be getting in the way. My husband and, well, my husband's doing most of the work, but we're creating a camper van, which is very exciting, but that's kind of taking priority over my crafting. Right, so that can go out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to stamp the bird. Stamp the bird down here, and I'm stamping that in soft suede, and the same with the branch. I'm going to die cut those out, but I am just going to use, put that there for a minute. I'm just going to use this sort of little speckled stamp to give a bit of colour to the trees. And I want them quite light. Could add colour with pencils, and I'm going to colour the robin and the tree branch actually with our watercolour pencils. Don't use them often enough, so there we go. Just build up so that you've got the amount of colour that you want on that tree. And I'm going to do the same actually with these, but using the green. So I'm going to clean that off. I've got my Simply chamois here to the side. Give that a good old clean. I'm going to bring in, on my original card, I die cut these bits from the designer series paper, but there wasn't enough for my class ladies, so I showed them how to do it out of card. Same with this section here. So here's the stopper. Stamping off just because this is a fairly new stamp set and it is quite juicy, so I think that goes really well with the designer series paper. So that's going to be my stopper, and I'm going to do the same on here. I can use this piece of scrap, and I'm using scrap, but I guess to make this project you would want half a sheet of basic white. I'll use that. I'm also going to cut a leaf out of that so that you can see that, and then add the ink so you can see the difference. So let's pop that out of the way. And well, do you want to watch me? Let's turn that over. It's got a big splodge anyway. There we go. That's a bit better. Do you want to watch me colour the robin? Don't know whether you do or not. So I've got real red and cherry cobbler. So we'll start with the real red. And this is normal basic white cardstock. So you can use your aqua painters, which I'm going to use, or a blending brush to smooth out these watercolour pencils. You can also use a Wink of Stella pen. That'll make it nice and sparkly. So let's just roughly add some colour. I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker colour in places. Lovely. And now I've got some early espresso. It's quite nice to stamp in the brown, the soft suede, and that way, rather than the black, and I'm just actually applying more pressure where the stamp's got some detail. I'm just doing this very quickly. So I've got some, what's this, Cajun Craze. So just to add another little bit of colour in. Just going to do it very quickly just around the edges here. And then use the early espresso again, but just very lightly on his belly. Got black for his beak. And I'm going to put black on his claws. I'm going to put a little bit of grey. Robins do have a little bit of grey here and there. Basically, you could, I think he makes a nice robin, but it could be anything. So I've got an aqua painter here, and I think the trick for me, I'm not very confident with watercolour, but if you don't use too much water, you have it damp but not too much. You can just smooth out that colour, and we can always go back in and add some more. Very therapeutic colouring. Not so easy when you're doing it quickly. Just be careful where the colours blend together. I've got a very quick just blend those colours together. Back in there. And I actually think if you wanted to, you could go back in. I've used colours from one and both of our watercolour pencils, but you've got sets, but you've got Whisper White, so you could go in and add some lighter bits if you wanted to. But I think I'm quite happy with him like that. I think he's come out quite well, considering I've done that at 40 miles an hour. Maybe just blend that cherry cobbler in a little bit. But again, just being careful not to get that too wet. Because if you get it too wet, the card bows. And I'm going to use the early espresso again on here. Yes, early espresso. Just to give some colour and to that tree branch. I'm not going to worry about blending that out. I'm just picking out some of those marks. So there we go. So I'm going to take this to my die cutter and I'll be back momentarily. I think with these dies, it's always good to use a little bit of washi tape to hold that in place. Fabulous. And then there's enough here to use something fancy dies to get the two labels out. That quarter sheet. I'll just do that. Got those two, and then we'll use these to die cut the leaves. I don't have my lights on. Does that make a difference? Oh, let there be light. So just put the lid on there. So we've got one white leaf. I've done that practice of doing these videos. So let's add so that's the difference. You can see the veins. Not sure. No, they all need to be the same. You just need to die cut one more. Okay. My brother's over from the States on a business trip, and my husband's just come in, and I think they're after some food. Oh well, I'll just have to wait. I'm not going to interrupt my creative flow. So the sentiment is going to be with deepest sympathy. I was talking to friends yesterday that came to class, and we were talking about the significance of robins. So I think robins, when robins are near loved ones, I'm not sure. Anyway, they signify for me loved ones. So there we go. Oh, that's a bit faint, but that will do. And I think I'm going to keep both of those white. So we can start putting this together. So I just need this sheet here. And I'm going to put that one down with glue. Some multi-purpose. And I'm going to pop this over the top. And I could put this up on dimensionals, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to add it with some glue. I can see I've not popped out. There's one little bit of card that I've not popped out. So that will sit over there. And I think that on its own is really pretty, isn't it? Just seeing that in the background. This paper is gorgeous. I don't know why. I've not really used it before. So let me just use my poker tool, get rid of those extra bits. And you'll use your poker tool or your finger if you've got nails. Like that. Easier to see where they are from the back, isn't it? So yes, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done any posts or videos. I have tried in the past to do them once a week, but if I get behind and life just gets busy, hopefully you'll forgive me for not being so consistent. I think I'm going to pop those like that. Yeah. And then I've got those 3 leaves. We will possibly trim bits out. Let's get rid of all the extra little bits. So put a little bit of glue on just some of that. We don't need glue on all of it. Just a few blobby bits. Lovely. Now, so he's curling the wrong way, so we'll just make sure that he's curling the right way. I'm just going to use my snips to cut the extra little bit round off his claws so that I can sit him on the branch better. So let's get some mini dimensionals. I'm going to do that like that. And just trim that like that. I'm going to take off the stems. A little bit of glue. You could use glue dots as well, but I'm going to do one underneath. Let's trim that off a little bit. It works quite well like that. And then we can do one there. pretty. This can go on, we just want to put glue on that, just that bit, bottom bit. Like that. Check it's lined up. Yeah. And then I'm going to pop this bit up with dimensional as well, because that can help keep the easel part up. So let's pop. So there's a small gap all the way around. Lovely. And then I'm just going to pop this top layer up with a couple of the mini dimensionals as well. Put 3 in there. And it doesn't need this extra label, but I thought it was quite nice to layer them up. And it's quite nice having them as white, and then they can go glued down on there. And then that holds that up like that. That's rather pretty. I like that. So there was the original one. And there's the other, and I've just used different, this was with the Designer Series paper, and this was obviously with me making my own. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscription button, and I will try and see you again next week. Bye for now.